a little bit about yourself.
So I am Will. I run Christ Conservative, and yeah, I started my account pretty recently on Instagram. I'm still really new to this, but yeah, I'm a Christian, obviously, and a conservative, as the name implies. And yeah, I've been like this all my life, but ever since the very unfortunate death of Charlie Kirk, I've gotten really involved in everything. And I ended up getting the chance to go to a Turning Point event last Saturday,
Oh, which event?
and it was the same one that Taylor Sharp and all of them were at.
Oh,
Um,
I see that now on the screen. The in Nashville.
yeah, around there.
Nice.
So I got the chance to go to that, and that really started me on my journey. Found a lot of great people there. I got to meet Taylor Sharp, Soleil Meckling, and that Teen Conservative, Ali. They were great. Yeah, it's just it was great getting to meet them.
Yeah, I know it's great. I see that some of them have followed you already, which is great for a new account.
Yeah,
You,
absolutely.
I asked you to come on here. You only had 16 followers, and now you have 40. So that's very impressive growth
Yeah.
for a pretty new account. How did you do it? How did you grow your account to become so big?
Uh, I don't think so big is the words that I would use. I still only have 40 followers,
Hmm.
but to every single one of those 40 followers, uh, we are the loud majority. Don't never forget that. So yeah, I think a lot of it was luck. A lot of it was a blessing, and a lot of it was just getting to meet the right people at the right time and just consistency. Uh, I was I was on Danny's stream a couple of nights ago, and I was asking, "Hey, what's the best way that you think I could grow my account? What's the best way you think I could grow my channel? Whatever." And she just said consistency, because that really is the most important thing you can do. Because if you are constantly posting and always active and always doing everything that you can, then eventually you'll take off.
Well, I hope that bears true for me. I know that Danny, she started her account a few weeks ago. Now she's already at 2,000 followers. So
Yeah.
that's pretty impressive growth from her. I know that she knows some of the people who are, very popular in this movement, like Ali and Hazel and Taylor. So how did you get into this? Like, how did you get into politics?
So I have always kind of been conservative. I've always had those views. I grew up in a conservative family for the most part,
Hmm.
and I'm a Lutheran, LCMS. So that's a very conservative denomination of Christianity. But once I got to high school, I moved from going to a private school, a Christian private school, to public school.
Mm.
And that was my first experience with it. And I noticed pretty immediately how different it was and how different politically it was. There were so many people who had such radical ideas on the other side that I could barely comprehend it. And my history teacher, actually, he ran modern events where at the beginning of every class, he would take us through some news stories and like Straight Arrow News, Fox News, CNN, ABC, all the things, trying to get both sides of the political spectrum
Hmm.
and kind of show us what it meant to understand what's going on in the world. And some of the ideas that my classmates threw out there was just so radical and so insane that I felt like I had to say something. And I did, absolutely.
I
That's
mean,
really where I
I
got started debating.
I completely agree. I first went to public school in 10th grade, and by 11th grade, I was getting out of there because, I mean, it's ridiculous what some of those kids believe. When
Yeah.
I was running for president in 2022 as an 11th grader, they were asking me about my stance on abortion policy for some reason, and like if I was going to install condom vending machines in the bathroom. And there were so many LGBTQ people at the school. It seemed like it was like a huge percentage of the population relative to like what the actual percentage should
Yeah.
be. Um, And in history class, I was always, debating some of the more liberal kids. Uh, they just, I always had debated them. I mean, it was really funny. I had this math teacher. She had like a literal pride poster and the gender unicorn hanging up in there, and I would just sit there in math class for like 5 minutes and listen to Matt Walsh in there, and then they wouldn't even catch me until someone compared me to Ben Shapiro. She got kind of upset about that because I guess she didn't like him.
Yeah, I didn't even know that teachers were allowed to do that in public schools.
Oh, put up the signs.
Put up like LGBTQ flags and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, my robotics team. I actually did a video about this. 2023, they were the organization was actually giving out these tiny little pride flags, and people were attaching them to their robots. They were hanging out of people's pants pockets. Some even had
Yeah,
their team flag hanging up there, and then like an entire huge pride flag. So it was absolutely ridiculous what they were doing.
yeah, absolutely. And I think what really got me started into politics was the election last year because I,
2024.
yeah, 2024. And I mean, obviously, the run up to Trump versus Biden was like, it was just ramping up, ramping up. Then he dropped out of the race, and
Mm-hmm.
they just said, let's throw in Kamala Harris without even having a, without even like having a vote on who they were going to have as their candidate. They just threw her in. But I could really see that I couldn't see a whole lot of things I particularly disliked about her, but I couldn't see anything that I liked about her either.
Mm.
And if you've seen Hamilton, he has a great line where he says, I've never agreed with Jefferson once. We have fought on like 75 different fronts, but when all is said and all is done, Jefferson has beliefs and Burr has none, right?
Mm.
That's how I think of a lot of Trump and Harris stuff. I might not necessarily agree with everything Trump has to say, and although I do agree with most of it, I don't know what Kamala Harris believed. So I would not have voted for her.
I mean, that makes sense. She only had 107 days to get out there, and
Yeah.
her campaigning, she's just not a good campaigner. She didn't really know what she was doing. Here in Houston, I heard that she had some sort of event at Dynamo Stadium, which is our soccer team, where she just brought in some rapper or singer, maybe it was Beyonce or something like that, and
Nice.
people were just there for the free ticket, but they weren't really there to see her. So they were kind of mad that she spoke rather than getting to hear a free concert. So, I mean, if
Yeah.
you have to go in and rely on people to sing for you and your just name is attached there for a presidential, U.S. presidential election, I mean, you're probably not going to win. You're not doing that well in the polls and you can't really talk. And have you seen clips of her talking?
Oh yeah, I've seen clips of her talking.
I
The
mean, it's,
cackle. Yeah. I mean, nobody really voted for her because they liked her. They just voted for her because she wasn't Trump.
mm,
Everyone voted in that election because of Trump, whether they liked him or they didn't like him. They either voted for him or said, I don't like Trump, so I'm going to go vote for Kamala Harris. Not because of her policies, not necessarily because she's would be the first woman president if she was voted, just because they don't like Trump.
I think one of the reasons she was, and I can see this in some of the churches that I've attended before, is they just liked her because she was black. I mean, they had a literal poster of her hanging up in the bookstore of my church, and they still have it up.
Wow.
Uh, at least for the past, at least up until 5 months ago, which is really funny because she had lost, and Trump was president again, and the poster was still hanging up. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
So on Instagram, you make videos. Uh, you said that you have to be consistent. How do you come up with new ideas? Because one of the problems I had was coming up with new ideas to create. I've committed to creating a video, at least one original video a day. So not a clip, not meme or whatever, just one original video of me talking to the camera a day. And sometimes I have to come up with my interesting ideas. Where do you come up for yours?
So I haven't ever really done a video just
Mm-hmm.
talking to the camera. In fact, I think online this is my first time just speaking.
Mm.
So everything that I've done has been a like audio voiceover or like reacting to a clip or something. but I've
Mhm.
never actually just like spoken out and talked. I've written, which is not exactly the same, but I guess kind of could be the same. Uh, but honestly, I just scroll for a little bit, find something that I want to react to,
Mhm.
or find something that I think is interesting, and try and put my own spin on it.
Yeah, I like to do that as well, try to find something to react to. But the problem is that, I engage with so many of the creators on this side of the aisle that I get recommended that. So I have to actively go out there and look for some of
Yeah,
the more crazy teens out there. I found a few of them. One of the videos was like some kid saying that if you voted for Trump, you can't go to heaven, which is ridiculous. Another kid was saying
absolutely.
some of the nonsense. But I actually found that reacting to this podcaster who is works for a satellite radio station called the Open View, which is just free content. By the way, it's so funny the amount of ridiculous stuff they come on with. Called Lloyd Daniels favors. She's just crazy.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of her, but I think I have heard of that channel.
Yeah.
So,
Uh, well, just for context, one of the videos that she's created before, she said Whitelandia as a thing for white people or something like that. I don't know.
I don't think I
That's the
live
whole
in
thing.
Whitelandia.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can see if I can
you can just look at me. I'm very
pull
white.
up. So, what are some tips you have for people who want to get into this? Let's say a 17-year-old is listening to this right now and they want to start an Instagram page like you, or get into YouTube, or start a podcast.
The most important way that I can sum it up is in two words: just be bold. Because if you are bold about everything that you do, that will entail making videos or
Mm-hmm.
going out and speaking at events or debating or however you can be bold. If you do that, then you will grow. And you will, if you're nervous about going out and being outspoken, just
Mm-hmm.
be bold. And it is harder than it sounds, especially when you get things like death threats and people telling you that you're a fascist or a
Mm-hmm.
bigot
Mm-hmm.
or any of the other million things that I've heard of, a Nazi, a white supremacist. Sorry, should I say Yahtzee? I don't know. I've been hearing that a lot. Um, People telling you you're a Yahtzee or whatever, just be bold. It's it's really important also to me to go into a situation knowing that you might be in the wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And every situation that you go into, debating or any conversation you have, if you are against somebody else, you have to admit to yourself when you have done wrong or when you have been wrong. That way you can learn. And I've I say this a lot, but if you go into a situation and you don't learn anything, you're as bad as a liberal because they go into most situations not wanting to learn anything, but wanting to educate, which is what I've been told a lot whenever debating people. They go in to educate you, they don't go in to learn from you or to learn about or just to learn what you're about.
Mm-hmm.
They just go in to tell you what you should be doing. So if you go into a situation and you don't learn a single thing from that, you don't take a single thing away from that, you are as bad as a liberal.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on. And now we're going to cut to the second YouTube channel.